genre.
In the world of Hollywood, movies get greenlit and redlit. They get remade and rebooted. But we are the ideal. I'm Sam Gasch, and you are listening to Ideal Remake. Thank you for listening to Ideal Remake. We take movies that either have been, will be, or should be remade and talk about what the ideal version of that remake would be. Today we're talking about a movie that, and this is true, 6 months ago, my sister texted me out of the blue asking me for the name of that scary movie we watched where the lady takes off her eyelashes. So, Justin Kizan, is 1977's The Rescuers a movie that has been, will be, or should be remade?
I will say is a movie that will be remade because it is part of the Disney machine.
Yeah. All right, cool. I think I vaguely agree with that. I mean, I think there's an argument that, like, The Rescuers Down Under basically follows a lot of the same beats.
Yes.
I mean, it is absolutely a sequel, but, like, there's an argument.
Sure.
Although there's so many guns in both of those movies that it's like, I don't know if Disney's going to do these again.
Right. But, I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like it's in the library. They do have it on the Plus web app.
They do.
So it's not like a movie they've hidden, which they do.
It's no Song of the South.
It certainly isn't. Certainly isn't. So I feel it's something they're always open to, but I think they're gonna start ruining the movies of the 2000s soon for live action after.
Yeah.
So
if they're doing Moana this quickly, then a pretty easy thing to think that they will kind of just start with hey, this is the one that some people who are still kids have heard of.
Right.
Despite the fact that I grew up and, like, there was a time in my childhood that Rescuers Down Under was my favorite movie.
Oh, fair. I get it. Yeah.
I don't think that that's the kind of nostalgia they're going for.
Right. Especially because
But who knows?
No, who knows? And I do know that Rescuers Down Under, which I was a fan of too as a kid, bombed infamously. So,
which is fascinating to me because I was looking it up because I was like, why would The Rescuers get a sequel? And I looked it up and it was a massive success.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Yeah.
It cost $7.5 million and then it made over $70 million.
Yeah.
That's a big win. But then, of course, Rescuers Down Under cost $30 million and didn't quite make that back.
It didn't help that it took very long to get to the second one.
It took 13 years.
Correct. And that's a bit of a gap. I mean, granted, in the current era, you could have a decades-late sequel, sequel, and that wouldn't stop them from trying it again. So,
I mean, it's just nice that they were able to get most of the original voice casting back.
No, agreed. No, it allowed that consistency. So, like, even as a kid, when I actually saw Down Under first, and then went to go watch the original afterwards. So the fact that I can still hear the same Bianca and the same Bernard was like confirming, it's the same characters, kid logic.
Very much so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get too far into this, Justin, let everyone know who you are. Welcome to Ideal Remake.
Thank you. No, thanks for inviting. So I am a filmmaker podcaster. I also have a podcast, which ironically is also about remakes.
It's a good idea. Other people can have it.
But here's the thing. Our shows are vastly different because our show is called Nothing New, a remake podcast. And what we do is we compare the original film to the remake. We directly talk about the original film and then immediately afterwards talk about the remake. And when I learned about your show, what's one thing I thought's really cool about your show is let's imagine the best possible remake.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when we are reviewing the current remake, is not the case a lot of the time.
I mean, not all of the time, but some of the time.
There's always exceptions, but
for sure.
Boy howdy, the amount of times me and my co-host Andrew Lindy went, I don't know why you did that.
Yeah.
On repeat. So, also I think you launched Ideal 2017?
That sounds about right. This is season 9.
Yeah.
So probably end of 2016, and then like most of, and then a lot of 2017 was mostly like where that season began.
Okay, because we launched Nothing New in 2017 June, or May. So we were kind of around the same time. So that's another
Yeah.
wild reason.
Well, it's funny because like you are going to be the second guest in a row where you host a podcast about remakes. My guest last episode is Tanner Vogelsang, and they are the host of something called Not If I Reboot You First.
10 out of 10 on that. That's a very fun name.
It's a great name, and they and their co-host Lindsay do not even just movies, they do TV, comic books, anything.
Oh, okay.
They recently had an episode where they talked about their end of 2017. So our first episode was October 26th, 2017.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So you probably beat me to the punch.
Like a little smidge, yeah.
Just a bit. But they talked about how I'm probably their most unhinged episode because I went on to reboot the concept of movie theaters.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll listen to that one. That sounds great.
It's nuts. And I don't know that I did a good job. But I tried.
It's like, confidence. Love it.
Well, I also caught them way off guard because I think like I'd originally wanted to go in to reboot the TV show Reboot, and they were like, we can't do that one. And I was like, because they were like saving it for their 100th episode.
Oh, I see.
And I was
okay.
like, that's fair.
Yeah.
Movie theaters. And they were like, sure. Good luck. And I was like, yeah, good luck to me. Because like when I'm hosting this, I have to be in host mode. But when I'm on someone else's show, I can be goofy. But getting back to serious stuff.
Sure.
The movie Rescuers from 1977. Real sad.
Yeah.
It's a big sad movie.
It's a movie made in like the Disney, as they call it, the dark ages of Disney animation, and like you could feel it in both good and bad ways. But it's definitely it's a big bummer for a lot of it, and I can see how it's easily childhood nightmare fodder for certain people.
I mean, the movie opens with this little girl named Penny, who I did not recast because she's like 6.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't know how old she is. Mm-hmm. And it opens with her sneaking out of this boat, taking a bottle and throwing it into the water, and we just see this bottle with a message in it, and the message just says, help.
Yeah.
And then we get this deep, mournful song called, like, Remember Me.
Yeah.
As we get these gorgeous paintings of the bottle traveling over the water and in oceans and by ships and in storms. It's a beautiful song, gorgeous paintings in a kid's movie.
I was rewatching the movie with a friend, and he went, "That song is too adult for this children's movie." And I'm like, "You're not wrong. Like that feels like it should be in like a 1970s romance drama with Robert Redford, and like that weird vibe to start."
Real weird vibe
to start this children's film. But I super agree with the opening credits with the gorgeous paintings of the bottle and the various pieces, various parts of the ocean, various in the travels. I thought that's such a really lovely way to start the film visually. It's so cool.
I don't know if we have any Disney historians who are listening, but like fundamentally, if any of you know what's happened to any of those paintings, they were all A, gorgeous, and B, just to like see or own any of those would be like, incredible. Just like, they feel like the sort of thing that Disney would be like, hey, cool. In the garbage it goes.
We have to make 80 other movies, so we're busy.
And it's just devastating because they are beautiful. But like basically the bottle washes up on shore, and as this whole thing is happening, I'm thinking, how long was this bottle at sea? And what ended up happening was there's a line later in the movie where Mr. Snoops says, I keep finding her throwing bottles with messages into the water.
Yeah.
So I think it happened multiple times. So like one of them washes up on shore in New York. Mm-hmm. And since that came from Louisiana, that's a ways to go.
Yeah.
And we get an answer later in the movie as to how long she was on that boat. But I don't know if you caught that. So when you're watching that, how long did you think she'd been trapped there?
Oh, gosh. I don't remember the answer, but I think I was assuming at least several months, at least. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, yeah. I figured 2 to 3 months, possibly. You know.
3 months is in fact the correct answer.
Ooh, wow. Nice. All right.
But I'm sitting there going like, it's a message in a bottle. This thing had to take years. Especially going from like the Gulf of Mexico to New York.
Like, I guess that's kind of why we could, the idea of Penny throwing multiple bottles, kind of like, well, at the luck of the draw, this one made it to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Fundamentally, yes. But like, it also is like, hey, my name's Penny. I used to be at this orphanage. Help, please.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, she doesn't give us any information. And I was like, she doesn't have any other information. She's
Yeah.
a child. That's everything she knows.
Right. Like, she does, here's my coordinates. She doesn't know.
No.
I was like, no, she's, as far as she's concerned, like, this is the best I can do, you know?
Right. And fundamentally, and she did it. Because like,
Right.
we find out later she does several runaway attempts and they don't work. But like, so after this bottle washes up in New York, what happens next?
That's when, like, the mice start showing up surrounding the bottle, and we are introduced to the Rescue Aid Society, which is essentially in the UN, and though they even kind of look like they operate like the UN. It's a group of agents, mice agents, who their job is to be rescuers, heroes, and like, they were inspired by the mouse that pulled the thorn out of the lion's paw, which I love so much.
It's so clever. I love that so much. It's so funny and so smart.
Yeah. And look, I get it, 1977. So the way they represent many of the mice from the other countries is my eyebrow going, all right, well, we have to do, it is what it is. That person's definitely a Asian mouse.
Yeah.
Relieved he didn't speak, so
Not in this movie.
not in this movie, but
Certainly in other Disney movies.
oh, I'm aware of, because we covered Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess you could have. I keep forgetting that they did that as one of their quote-unquote live-action remakes.
Yeah, that was an interesting conversation. We are introduced to the Rescue Aid Society, and it is like this really, I think this is the charm of the concept of the Rescuers, is that it's this, it's I love like the idea of like this like small universe of like a specially trained mice who like act like people, but they use like garbage to make their buildings and their vehicles and their tools, and like, oh, a comb is a ladder to them, or things
Yeah.
of that nature. So I think that's the charm of the concept of the Rescuers, at least Disney-fied. I don't know, because the side note, the books are based off of the movie works are based off a series of books. I don't know if the books describe the Mice Society like that, but it's the fun of what Disney's movie does, is to kind
It
of
is impossible to know.
right.
For us, because neither of us looked it up.
Yeah.
Which would not have been your job. Would have been my job. Didn't do it. The important thing is, it's called the Rescue Aid Society, RAS. If they could have just gotten a T in there, they could have been rats, but they're not. And
They're mice.
it's the sort of thing where if it had been any other period in time, they'd have been like, well, we have to be adorable. We're the Rescue Aid and Triage Society or something. Or literally it could just be the Rescue and Triage Society. Because rescue and aid are basically synonymous. So like you're already...
You're very close.
Yeah, so just give us the team where you can just be the rats. We're the rats. I mean, I get that they're all mice, but still.
Like, you're right. There's one letter away of like really hitting the name.
Yeah.
And the visual down. So fair enough.
Don't they want to be a group of people who really wanted to be able to spell shield?
That's true.
So basically, they all start singing their national anthem.
Yeah.
Or not their national anthem, their society anthem, because they're a secret society. And then the hottest mouse any of them have ever seen shows up late.
Yeah.
And strolls in the middle of the anthem
Yeah.
after making eyes at the janitor outside.
Yeah.
She sprays on perfume and walks in the middle while singing, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's Miss Bianca.
Yeah.
I can't believe Eva Gabor is here."
So I didn't do a I didn't read the books. I was tempted. Not
What?
gonna lie. I know. They're out of print since 2003. Anyway, but I was curious to look into them, so I did do the research on a bit of the history of the books. And Miss Bianca is definitely like the lead of the books. To the fact that the second Rescuers book isn't even called The Rescuers, it's Miss Bianca is the second book.
Really?
Yeah, so she is like front and center of the storyline.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
And so the Disney movies, in all of their wisdom, decide that she has to get husbanded up real quick.
well, Bernard is her partner in the books
Okay.
as well. So that is
All right.
it is a duo, but Miss Bianca is the one that ever goes, oh shit, it's Miss Bianca, tidy up, look good.
Yeah.
But side note, I think it's hilarious in that like Ava Gabor was cast because not so much that like I get it too, Green Acres and such. But one of the things I noticed in the film is that when she goes to her seat, she's from Hungary, and so is Eva Gabor. And in the books I've read, that's not where Bianca's from. So that was a Disney choice to go, well, if Ava's from Hungary, make it easy.
I think that makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Makes Miss Bianca goes. And there's also, since the Rescue Aid Society is a global concept, why not? Why not?
Of course. Mm-hmm. When I cast my Miss Bianca, I cast someone who is a known immigrant.
Yeah.
But like we all, that's a thing that we know about her. Mm-hmm. But she's also not from Hungary.
Right. Same. I kind of, I'll hint that I also picked somebody that is not born in America.
Yes.
So that's
great. And that kind of feels like intrinsic to the character, in that like if it is a rescue aid society of a bunch of mice from all over the world, our characters should be like, I'm okay with our janitor turned hero being American, but that means that our Miss Bianca needs to be from somewhere else.
100% agree. Yeah, that is the
accent or not.
Yeah. It's the appeal of the character, and I think it's very integral to the character that she's like kind of like global in some fashion, and not from America for sure.
So what ends up happening is janitor Bernard, Bob Newhart, ends up opening the bottle that all these mice found, because they had not opened the bottle yet, and they basically pull out this message and they read it. It's help from Penny. She's from this orphanage, and now she's somewhere she doesn't want to be. Mm-hmm. And the Miss Bianca takes the mission, and she needs a partner because it's so dangerous, and so she picks Bernard.
Yeah.
And we find out that Bernard is very silly and also very superstitious. Is it going to be relevant at all in the movie? No. But he is, though, so it's a character point.
It's also interesting to kind of point out, but before she picked Bernard, like, every male mouse in the society raised their hand immediately.
She is the hottest mouse that's ever lived.
And the movie definitely is aware of that, but like she picks Bernard. And also kind of interesting to note also that Bernard, without literally having a scene where Bernard says in a speech, I've dreamed of doing this, being part of the society or being assigned a mission. It's never said that like in a big exposition-y moment. But I like that the only real hint of that is that he knows the anthem.
Yeah,
even though he's outside, he's not even in the building.
He's sweeping up outside, but when they start singing the anthem, he takes off his hat and starts singing the anthem with them. Yeah. And then Miss Bianca arrives. And it's genuinely a very, very sweet moment. It
is, and it's a very subtle way of showing his character work, is that oh, yes, obviously he has aspirations, but at the moment he's a janitor, and everyone looks at him as such, except for Miss Bianca, and that's probably the reason why she grabbed him, is that like, you look like you need a reason to be pushed to get out here, and that's so yeah, it becomes their adventure afterward.
Yeah, so the first thing they do is they try to track down this orphanage. It starts with them wandering into a zoo, and then fleeing the zoo, and end of that little scene, and they end up finding the orphanage. And they sneak in and immediately kind of get scared off by this cat, who has no interest in chasing them whatsoever because he's old.
I like that they addressed the cat and mouse thing like immediately.
Oh yeah, they have to.
Right, of course.
Like they're mice and he's a cat. What are you gonna do?
Right, but I like that the little twist on that is like, I'm not. No, I know what we are, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Like, oh God, like. Oh man, just make sure you guys aren't seen. You're gonna make me look bad.
Right.
And they're just like, well, do you have any information about Penny then? And he's like, oh yeah, Penny. Penny was my best friend. And then he tells a very sad story about Penny. So
Yeah.
Justin, what is that very sad story about Penny?
Penny doesn't really know where her family's at, and
You mean Penny from the orphanage?
yeah, Penny in the orphanage, and like it was one of those days where it's like other kids are getting chosen over her kind of scenario. It's also, side note, I did immediately caught wind on like, oh, so Penny is actually straight up talking to the cat, like they're
Yes.
having a conversation. Penny
Yes.
can understand animals, which I get it, fine, that's easy for storytelling, but also like not gonna overthink it because it's a kid's movie. So
Yeah, it's also one of those things that like kind of comes back in Rescuers Down Under, where the lead of that, whose name I forget, is also a kid who talks to animals. And I think it's just the understanding that like children can talk to animals. Because when we get to the end of the movie and Penny's being interviewed, she's like, yeah, I had these friends who were mice. And the interviewer's like, what? And she's like, yeah, mice can talk just like you or me. And he's like, okay, kid, if you say so.
you know what's funny is that like I that was enough for me to buy it. I'm like, yeah, oh, you know what? Yeah, why not?
That's enough. We don't need more than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's cute. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. But also, there's like this woman who apparently has come to the orphanage, and the cat's like, yeah, I don't know what's up with that lady. She's like,
Yeah.
there's some weird vibes. That cat knew some weird shit.
She didn't
was
come to
going
the
on.
orphanage. She pulled up in her car along the street to Penny.
Oh my god, you're so right. Yeah.
She didn't even come into the orphanage. She tried to kidnap this child off the street. And then Penny managed to get away. And Rufus is telling this story about how Penny's very sad and whatever. And he's just like, oh boy, I sure hope that crazy lady didn't get her. She sure had her eye on this child. Anyway, where does she work? Oh, this crazy lady works at owns the pawn shop down the street. And it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go see.
The crazy lady is Medusa.
Wild name.
Wild name, character cousin to Cruella de Vil.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And character cousin to Cruella de Vil is insane and is in New York running her pawn shop. And then while Bianca and Bernard are in there, gets a call from Mr. Snoops because Mr. Snoops has been running this abandoned river cruise boat.
Right.
And using Penny to go into a mine to rescue the Devil's Eye diamond. For some reason, Medusa's not there supervising. She kidnaps this child and sends her off, who it turns out for 3 months. And in that time, Penny keeps trying to escape and all this other stuff. And then she's like, oh, I can't believe you haven't found the diamond yet. Well, I guess I better go down and manage. And it's like, I feel like if you were this close to this diamond, you wouldn't have come back to New York.
Right.
But
Like,
whatever.
Yeah. Bad management on Medusa's.
Oh, yeah. Like, very much like, I mean, aside from having her turned over to Health and Human Services, she's very clearly stupid, but also so is Mr. Snoops.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's just an awful, awful human being.
Right.
Who occasionally points a gun like a shotgun at fellow human beings.
Right. And owns 2 alligators?
I'm trying to decide if they're alligators or crocodiles, and I wouldn't know because I don't know what lives in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to look it up. But basically, like, Medusa's like, this fucking kid, I'm coming down there. And she, like, quickly packs up a bag, gets in a ridiculous jalopy. Bianca and Bernard stow away as best they can, but the suitcase ends up rolling out and exploding on the curb.
Yeah.
And so they end up having to charter a flight. So they go to the airport, they go to the top of the airport, and they go to Albatross Air, where they meet Orville.
Yeah. I love Orville.
Orville is the best. So much so that unfortunately the actor who played Orville passed away a couple years before Rescuers Down Under came out. So in the sequel, he's replaced with John Candy.
Yeah.
And they gave John Candy a much bigger part in that movie.
For sure. A role that I'm sure if the original voice actor was alive would have just kept it.
For sure.
Though I do appreciate that the name, that he's essentially the brother of Orville.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Which makes complete sense because there are technically 2 Wright brothers, so he's named Wilbur. And
Yep.
like, you're lucky. You're lucky there are 2 Wright brothers to make this joke really work.
Yeah.
But Orville's great. I always loved Orville, and I this also leads to another kind of great like flying sequence.
Yes.
But also
it's so pretty.
It's so pretty, but again, we go back. I think the songs are where my brain disconnects a little bit because again, it's again, it's not that these are lovely music. It's lovely music. I want to be clear on that. But there is a wrong vibe.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's also like a sense of exploration and wonder where it's like, hey, we got to get to the Devil's Bayou as quickly as possible. This kid is in capital T trouble.
Right.
But I know that you don't know about capital T's in the Rescue Aid Society.
We would know, but
unfortunately, that's just not what our society is about.
No. Yes, it does go into this like kind of lovely, beautifully animated flying sequence with this song that feels like it should also belong to a completely different movie.
Yeah, and might, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe someone they slapped it onto a different film later. Who knows?
But like so they end up in the bayou somewhere in Louisiana, and we go from that beautiful, gorgeous scenery, incredible, like Bianca and Bernard like kind of huddling up in the cold and like kind of resting and being adorable with each other as they're flying.
Yeah.
And then we land in the bayou at this like middle of nowhere airport for the albatross, where we meet some sort of little rodent lady and an absolute sloshing drunk of a little rodent man.
This is kind of where the animal sizes start getting a little questionable.
Why? What is he supposed to be?
Well, not so much him, it's like the other guys they've met. Like, there's an owl that shows up later, and I'm like, how small is this owl?
So here's the thing.
Yeah, sure, please.
I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
And in Tucson, Arizona, there is a breed of owl that is unfortunately called the pygmy owl.
Oh, okay.
They're this big.
Oh, fair enough. So
they're very tiny. I don't know that breed of owl or anything like it lives in Louisiana.
Right.
But I think we can comfortably say that the owl, the rabbit, the turtle, the dragonfly, all being roughly the same size. Maybe not.
Yeah, that's where I kind of like...
And the hedgehog.
Oh, yeah, there's the hedgehog. Yeah, the owl sizes...
None of them matter.
Yeah, animal sizes get thrown out the window by the time they get to Louisiana. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, those animals don't matter so much that I did not recast a single one of them.
Yep, didn't bother, to be honest.
Yeah. Why would we? It doesn't matter.
But
basically, like, the only reason those animals are relevant is because the sloshing drunk is carrying around his jug of moonshine. He talks about how it's a particularly potent batch, and whenever someone needs a little bit of a pick-me-up, he feeds them. He kind of, like, pours the jug into them. They get a couple drops of moonshine. This happens to him, to Bernard, to the dragonfly, to the... like, whatever jet ski thing they use to get away at the very end, all of them give a and it's just like this sound effect of like breathing out smoke and fire from the moonshine. They don't get drunk at all. It just energizes them, as I assume moonshine does.
Watching these characters specifically of Luke is this massive reminder that, like, right, I learned from cartoons of the past the wrong way to look at liquor.
Yeah.
Because they have taught me, I think even specifically Disney, that's what happens when you drink strong liquor. Not being knocked out and unconscious or being belligerent or being... I was led to believe by cartoons that if you drink some bad, strong moonshine, you will turn into a gasket.
Yep. There are no side effects. You are fine. All it does, like, basically a shot of moonshine is the exact same thing as drinking a Red Bull. It gives you energy, tastes terrible, let's rock and roll.
Right.
And I also think drinking Red Bull is potentially dangerous, but that's a whole separate conversation.
Sure. The dragonfly also kind of does remind me very much of the fact that, like, the most obvious legacy of this franchise, of these two films, is so clearly Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
Oh, for sure.
Zipper is essentially the Dragonfly's little cousin as well, because he even wears like a similar like turtleneck situation.
Now, do you happen to remember the name of the Dragonfly in this movie?
Oh no, I blanked on it.
I just had to look it up because I remember it being an insane name. His name is Evinrude. Evinrude. I don't know the origin of this name, but it's such a specific name for a character that it's just like, oh, okay, we love this guy. So basically, they get on a Leaf piloted by Evinrude as they go to navigate the waters. Also, keep in mind, this is in the middle of a Penny runaway escape.
Yeah.
And so Medusa gets in there. She goes to go capture Penny. The crocodiles go to capture Penny. The crocodiles find her first. And they're bringing her back. There's a whole, like, harrowing sequence of the mouse boat getting trapped between the two crocodiles and, like, all, like, the ripples and the waves from them moving. Because, again, they are the size of aircraft carriers to them.
Yeah.
In this moment, but not later.
True.
They're big later, but not this big.
Yeah.
So they get Penny back to the thing, and it's and then Evinrude gets them to the boat as well, and they go in and they start going to rescue Penny. We have a whole sequence where, like, the mice sneak in. Medusa sees the mice. She goes, "Mouse!" and freaks the fuck out. And, like, she ends up getting out a shotgun and starts shooting everybody. A shotgun in a kid's movie.
Yeah. Animated shotgun.
Yeah. And it's bananas. And eventually the mice get away, and then going to Penny later and basically being like, "Hey, we're here to rescue." And she's like, "You didn't bring anyone bigger?" And I'm like, yeah, good point. How many opportunities did these mice have to go to, like, any figure of authority and be like, "Hey, we already know that," like, we find out later in Rescuers Down Under that they have, like, communication systems. They don't even have to reveal that they're mice. They just have to inform the authorities that the missing child is here at this location.
Right.
But no,
right.
We're the mice. We're the heroes.
Yeah.
Who have literally nothing to do other than maybe make a plan for capturing the crocodiles later. We're going with Penny as she gets shoved down into a dark well to look for treasures and pirate diamonds for 3 consecutive months, I guess.
Right. And that's sort of like, this is the kind of case where it's like, yeah, like this time out, Bernard and Bianca are like helping her with this one.
Right.
But also, like, yeah, the limitations of being mice come very quickly when they realize, how do we get the devil? Because they finally find it. They do eventually find the devil's
Well, they
eye.
find it because, like, it's a thing where the water comes in very quickly. And so, like, the water table has a hole which is a terrifying death trap. Yeah. And Penny's like, "I don't go near that. I'm terrified of it." And the mice are like, "Well, we should probably check the other side then," and then immediately find the diamond.
Right. It's just too big to get it out of this because it's in the skull head.
Yeah.
So it's just too big for
as opposed to a skull anything else.
Like, sure. I'm sure. Also, I kind of like the sort of, like, it does show a little bit of Penny's bravery because, like, she's been doing this so many times. But also, like, the fact that she's like, "Oh, yeah, clearly because, like, there's a pirate thing going on here." And the mice are like, "Pirate thing? Yeah, look over there." And it's like a dead...
Yep. It's just a skeleton stabbed in the middle of it with a sword.
Yeah, wearing a pirate hat and literally going, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about."
Yeah.
So...
It's also crazy thinking about how the pirate hat and the skeleton and all of the gems, because she's found tons of gems, and brought them all up. But Medusa doesn't care about that. She just wants the big diamond.
I like that detail that she's like, this is kind of maybe why it adds to the months and months of her being there, because she goes, "Cool, found it. That's not it. Oh, I'll try again." And the fact that, like, I'm sure each of those the diamonds she has found probably costs a amount of money.
Oh, for sure.
But the fact that Medusa is so, like, "No, I want the one," is probably is like another layer of, like, man, be happy with the 20 that clearly Penny has found.
Yeah.
But she's like, "No, I want the fucking one that I grabbed you for, that I kidnapped you for."
I should also specify that, like, after Penny is captured from her runaway attempt, she goes in and, like, goes to talk to Medusa. And this is the moment where Medusa is peeling off her eyelashes in the moment that terrified my sister. And Penny is just like, and then when I find the diamond, you'll bring me back to the orphanage, right? And Medusa's like, why would you want to go back to the orphanage? And Penny's like, so I can find my parents. And Medusa goes, oh, sweet honey baby child. What sort of person would ever want to adopt a homely little girl like you? And it's just like, oh, you monster.
No, to quote my friend who was watching the movie with me, when Penny starts talking, it's like, hey, Disney, how did you find the most adorable voice actress?
Yeah.
To play this girl.
I can't believe you found, like, you're implying that this little blonde 7-year-old is somehow unadoptable. And, like, whatever. But Penny and the mice are in the hole. They find the skull. The water's coming in. It's a big, scary thing, but they make it out. And there's a moment where Penny saves the mice. She's a hero. She rescues the rescuers. They get the diamond into the bucket. They get dragged back out. And it's like, oh my God, amazing. Medusa has the diamond. And she's immediately like, my diamond. And Mr. Snoops is like, our diamond. And Medusa's like, my diamond. And it's very much well, if that's all you wanted, why did you go back to New York?
Yeah.
Anyway, so then they go back to... They finally make it back to the houseboat. And I don't remember why they feel the need to escape now. But basically, I feel like it's... Oh, right. Because Medusa gets so protective about her diamond, she basically holds the gun on Mr. Snoops and Penny, basically being like, I'm going to get in this boat and I'm going to drive away because this is my diamond and I'm not going to... And I'm so hyper suspicious of everybody that I can't have either of you following or taking it. And it's seriously implied that she is going to kill Mr. Snoops and Penny.
Yeah. And she hides the diamond in the teddy bear, Penny's teddy bear.
Yes. Whose name is...
Oh, shoot.
Teddy.
Of course. Obviously. Yeah.
And so that's when Evan Rood shows up at the animal thing and we encounter the rabbit, the turtle, whatever. And they all make this big dash. They go, because Evan Rood had a heck of a time getting back to warn everybody. Yeah. He was getting chased down by bats. It's wild to think that a wild dragonfly could have had all these predators, and they're just like, well, we have to wait for Evan Rood. Nothing bad could possibly have ever happened to Evan Rood. If
Cut to Evan Rood being chased by, like, the deadliest vampire bats I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and I could see that being the perspective of people who didn't know what it was like living here. But, like,
right.
These people are terrible.
Yeah.
And fundamentally, I feel like the child is the only, like, good human, or the good adult of any kind in the movie.
100%.
But,
Yeah.
And so basically they all attack. There's a whole like big combat action sequence. They get the two crocodiles trapped in the elevator and they're chasing around, stealing the diamond, getting on the boat, trying to get away.
There's like this like fireworks stuff that Mr. Snoops apparently has a collection of. Like, which is like comes off more as we like the visual of a firework is why the animators put that in there.
Well, they also justified in the script of when Medusa is out searching for the runaway Penny, she asks him to send up a few fireworks, to light the area so she can have a look around.
That makes sense, true. Yeah.
And then when Orville is coming into land, that's when the fireworks are going off.
He gets hit by it, yeah.
He gets hit by it.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm not sticking around for whatever the heck's going on here. Later, suckers. Penny gets away. Medusa presumably is going to get eaten by her own alligators. Mr.
For sure.
Snoops, it like kind of paddles away on his own boat. And then we get to the end and we find out that they're back in New York and we are watching a news article talking about how, well, this little girl brought back this incredible diamond. Anyway, it's in the museum now. We didn't give her any of the money. We put her back in the orphanage, but it's a happy story because here she is being adopted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, two things. One, this kid shows up with this insane diamond and she gets nothing for it. It just ends up in a museum.
Right.
The biggest diamond ever found.
Yeah.
In a museum. And then she immediately gets adopted by two people who I instantly am like, well, we're not trusting the two adults who showed up to adopt the famous girl, right? We're just going to trust them implicitly? That's what's happening? Oh, no.
It's all happy endings with no consequences of bad.
And we never heard of Penny ever again.
Yeah. That is the end of it.
That's the end of the movie. No, Bianca gives Bernard a kiss.
Right.
End of movie.
On to a new adventure.
13 years later.
13 years later. Yeah. So yeah, that's the movie, the long and short of it, you know.
Yeah,
So,
we certainly gave it the full work through, but what are we going to do? What's our version?
okay, so part of the deal of why I picked this movie.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that at all.
Part of the deal of I picked this movie is that, like, as I've mentioned earlier, Disney has clearly decided that we're just gonna go through what we have and
Yep.
reboot it and remake as much as we want. Even if the movie came out 10 years ago, we're gonna make a new version of that in live action, etc. So I'm aware of that, and it's just the culture, it's the machine. I know because I've covered so many of them on our podcast. So I was looking at their catalog one day, and I looked at the Rescuers, and it hits me that, like, oh wait, you guys haven't even looked at this. Like, there's no talk of this. There's no mentions of this anymore. You guys don't bring this up anymore. And in the world of unnecessary 2D to live action air quote movies, I'm looking at you, Lion King. You're still animated. You're still animated. It's just CGI. It's an animated movie still, you jerks.
Yep.
That I looked at the Rescuers, I went, okay, if you're gonna insist on doing this is ripe for a remake. Because, one, you have the chance to revitalize a beloved series. Two, you have the chance of still having this be technically a live action film because you're going to need real humans to save. The animals can be animated.
That's true.
However, you know, the animals can be however you want. I have a wild pitch for the to how to animate them, though.
Oh, you're not just assuming fursuits for everybody?
Well, I mean,
Are we not going full cats on this one?
ah, man, did you not stop reading my journal? I have another idea. But also, it's a characters that, like, can be very flexible to whatever you want to use them in, and, like, that's the thing with the original books. I'm going to be very respectful and say Marguerite Sharp, there it is, who wrote the books. That, like, there are many adventures you can put Bernard and Bianca in, and actually, the thing is, as I was looking into the books, like the first book, actually, their first mission together was to save a soldier in POW. Yeah, is a prisoner of war, an adult, a grown ass man, and that was their first mission.
That's heavy.
It's heavy. I won't go into the full production of the original film, but it definitely got to the point where they were like, let's just keep it simple. Have it be a little girl, and we're gonna save the little girl.
It's an animated movie. It's for kids anyway. A kid should be involved.
Kids should be involved. It's us. We're not gonna go heavy. I do feel like that allows the characters in the story to be kind of anything we want. We can go anywhere. They can face anything. The fun here is expanding on the Rescue Aid Society, playing with the idea of, like, a group of heroic mice that are all over the planet who want to do the right thing. And the kind of fun thing here is Bianca and Bernard are such fun characters that, like, there is no issue making sure we put them in the center of this because they should be our anchor. But outside of that, wide canvas to do whatever you want with them and wherever you want to put them, and etc.
Well, that immediately leads to two different problems.
Sure.
The first is, if the Rescue Aid Society is all over the globe, why do they need to travel to Louisiana in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Why couldn't you just send assigned agents there?
Yeah, why aren't there agents in Louisiana? I would imagine there are mice in Louisiana.
Right. I guess it's the question of, like, we now have to figure out the conceit of needing to send somebody there.
Yes.
Right? Very clearly, as I pointed out, like, Bianca is the center of the books. Bianca is, if anything, Bianca is the 00. You know?
I mean, genuinely, yes.
Yeah. And Bernard is her partner in these adventures. So the question is, like, okay, what makes Bianca special? That it has to be Bianca who travels everywhere, you know? And maybe a thought came to my head, what if Bianca is the only Rescue Aid agent that travels? Everyone else is just assigned to their location. So she's almost like the only one that really does the traveling around, and so she's like the point person.
Yeah, I mean, because I think the way we could get around it is to not have Bernard be the janitor in New York. We can have him be the Louisiana mouse.
Oh, see, that's fun.
who
Okay.
kind of is like, I mean, yeah, I'm working in Louisiana, but if I do a really good job, maybe I'll get promoted to like the big league and like the top crew, and I can represent not just Louisiana, but maybe the whole country. Oh, I'm dreaming too big again, aren't I?
You see, I kind of like that. Yeah, that's a good way of having them. That's a new twist on having them meet
Yeah.
and having him still be a member, but also like having different aspirations in a good
Yes.
way. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I also think we need to ask this question first, because obviously when this movie came out, it was a contemporary movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So are we setting the movie now,
Mm,
50 years later?
mm.
Or are we setting it in the 70s, in the 80s, the early 2000s?
Okay, so that's a very, very good question, and I was kind of back and forth on that because I feel like when you make it contemporary, that means you have to deal with contemporary things, smartphones, internet,
Arguably,
etc.
a 6 or 7 year old orphan isn't going to have any of that.
True, and I think the other thing too is an iPhone or a smartphone or internet is a adult human thing. I also like the idea of challenging, figuring out, but what a mice doesn't have a smartphone. They don't have. So what do they use? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. Like part of the fun of that I said earlier was that it's seeing the mice take what is normal human stuff and recontextualize it for their purposes. So I think you can have fun with mice using now modern technology, but it still has to be a homemade tactile thing that is fitting to their size.
Well, because like we can have them using a singular iPhone as their big screen TV connection thing.
Right.
But I feel like fundamentally, we can get away with the fact if Bernard is the mouse on the ground in this particular area of Louisiana, I certainly don't think I would have good cell phone reception in the bayou.
Sure.
And if they can't get this information, if they can't get the information to him digitally, they're just going to have to go physically. And so that's why Bianca has a mission, and she goes and does this mission and meets up with Bernard.
Yeah. I could play with and a new angle you could have them do without like hitting too much in the head is maybe like Bianca is more used to high tech adventures.
Yes.
And the fact that she's like in a more rural area, it will be a challenge for her, but it would be a place where Bernard can excel.
Yes, I think Bernard is going to be the one who knows the area, but
Yeah.
I would make Bianca like our MacGyver. If she's the best secret agent,
for sure.
she needs to be the best secret agent. Like I need her to be able to like put pieces together and figure things out.
Yeah, no, 100, I agree, and that's kind of one of the things I caught on to. That's the fun of the '77 film is like Bianca is quick to a situation. Like when Bernard gets like trapped in the luggage, she doesn't take any second to immediately grab on to like the loose strap of the luggage and hang on. And I'm assuming at that point she's just her going, what do I do next? What do I do next? My partner's inside. He might be suffocating. So
Yeah.
I agree. And yeah, you're right. MacGyvering is probably, that would be the most fun.
Yeah.
Is seeing Bianca like really think about a situation and go like, ooh, if I put that thing over here, that's going to create a charge. That will do that. That'll be cool. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think kind of that's what we want to be able to see. And I think that we'll need to have her be in the situation. Like, she'll have to get to Louisiana a lot faster.
Right.
That's going to potentially cut off our interactions of Bernard with Orville. But we still get to have our Orville. We still get to have Bianca, like, talking to this really cool and, like, charming bird.
Right.
And, yeah, I think we can certainly play around with all of that. But, like, are we going to have our Penny character get this information across and communicate via message in a bottle? Because like I don't know what else we can do, but I also don't know what else we can do.
Right.
I think it could be as simple as we have Penny crying and being sad in this boat in the middle of the bayou, which has mice in it.
Right.
And like we don't need to wait for some nebulous message in a bottle to make its way. As beautiful as all those pictures are, and as much as I would genuinely love to own one and put it up right over there, I think that it can be as simple as there are mice in the boat. They hear and find out about this little girl in distress, and the mice communication system gets that information all the way back to New York.
Yeah, I think I was actually kind of, as soon as you were bringing this up, I was like, we might bypass the bottle thing and just have it be like a couple of mice, innocent mice, hear this, and they don't have to be a member of this rescue aid society.
No,
but they can be the ones that are like, oh crap, that kid's not here for good reasons. Oh crap. Okay, and then like they can. You're right. I think here's a fun thing that you can do. Right, you can start the movie very similar to the original film. See this kid in danger and in stress and etc. And you see some mice in the shot, and you think they're just mice that's just there to add like kind of flavor to the shot, until they start going, okay, that kid's in trouble.
Yeah. Well, because then we get to have the really fun there's a really fun communication sequence in Rescuers Down Under.
Yes.
Where this kid gets captured and they communicate that information all the way back to New York across oceans and everything else. And it's like, it goes from Australia to the U.S. Virgin Islands to Hawaii to New York. Mm-hmm. And it's great. But I feel like we can have a sequence like that. If it isn't clear, I watched both movies for this.
No, that's great. I wish I had time to do that too, but that's great.
I wish I didn't have time. It just happened to be this sort of week where like all of my evening plans kind of evaporated.
Okay.
So I was like, great, more movie opportunities for Sam. But so basically I think we can do something like that of like these little mice tell the story, and I think we can even have them tell Bernard, and Bernard should be scared and be like, I don't think I'm not brave enough to deal with this problem on my own. I need to tell headquarters. They'll tell me what to do.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
And he gets, because like the whole Bernard arc is him learning to find his bravery and be strong.
Right.
And so we have this whole arc. So we have this whole little sequence of just like the mice network, and we get to see little mice from all over the country kind of navigating as this information in a matter of hours, not months,
right,
gets it back to New York.
I think what's great about this, because it's a good idea to combine some things from the second movie, is that it allows the audience to see the world building as it's happening almost in real time. So it's like, okay, you get the idea. This is even where you could put much like the original film, this is the contact to the Aid Society in New York can be treated as the title credit sequence, right? Mm-hmm. So as soon as you get the information, and I can even imagine that Bernard is in like in a rinky-dink station. Like nothing happens in his department. He's that one deputy cop style thing, that one deputy sheriffy kind of guy who's just sort of like, another boring day in my. What do you mean there's a little girl kidnapped?
Right. Very much so. 100%.
And so the idea that that could kickstart the movie, that could kickstart the world, and we could start seeing all these in every sector from here to New York. That's wonderful. I like that a lot. Yeah.
So then we can have the sequence in New York where we have the Rescue Aid Society, we have the whole thing. We can have Bianca show up and everyone's like, this lady's the best we've got.
Yeah.
And we can have like the garbled communication of they reach out directly to Bernard, and it's garbled communication. They can't communicate with him. Mm-hmm. And so they figure out that what they have to do is Bianca goes to get more information. She tracks down, we can have her canvassing and are there any orphanages who are missing children, parents who are missing children?
Sure.
And they end up finding this one cat named Rufus who gives her more information. It's like, hey, Penny's missing. Mm-hmm. And I think it was by this lady, everything. And it's like, okay, we know who the kid is. We know where she's supposed to be, but she's not there. Now let's go let's go do a Rescuers.
Let's do a Rescuers.
And so because they can't communicate, they don't know what they need to go rescue the child. Mm-hmm. And because it's not just, hey, this little girl is sad. She has literally been kidnapped.
Yeah.
So then Bianca's like, we can't communicate. Nothing else is happening. I'm going down there. Time is of the essence. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go see Orville. And everyone's like, Orville? That guy's nuts.
Yeah.
And she goes and sees crazy Orville. I'm going to go with this version of Orville. Mm-hmm. It's still an albatross, but I'm going to go like Orville Redenbacher and be crazy popcorn maker, glasses, everything. And it's like, I've got all sorts of contraptions. We're gonna, and no, Orville, I'm really just coming to talk to you about like getting me there because you're a big bird and you can fly me there. And he's like, yeah, but don't you want all these tricks and tools and everything? I've been making them mouse sized for you. And she's like, Orville, no, I really just like, oh man. And she's like, all right, fine, I'll take some of your tools if you take me down to Louisiana. And Orville's like, deal. I'm Orville Redenbacher. This is what I've always sounded like.
Cha-cha.
So that's Act 1.
Yeah.
We get down to Louisiana, and it's all about Miss Bianca and Bernard. Miss Bianca being like, Bernard, you gotta help me. Bernard being like, oh, obviously I want to help you, and him not doing a good job. Mm-hmm. And they try to like explore the area, and like, because like they should know exactly where Penny is. Right. There's the mouse network.
It probably, to balance out Bernard's screen time in the first act, Bernard at the very minimum should at least keep tabs on Penny.
He should make contact with Penny. I agree with you.
Yeah. So that way he can kind of like get the like situation, figure out what's going on, learn about like the surroundings and like what challenges he might have with, especially when he's gonna get the help eventually. But he is that guy of like, I'm gonna get intel, but I'm also waiting for help. So
yes. Penny should be like, you're going to go get help, right? He's like, I'm going to get the best help there is.
Right.
And then Act 2, here's the best help there is. And she's like, another mouse? I thought you were going to get like a person. And he's like, we are persons. It's like, no.
No. I am going to die.
Forever. Yes. I am 6 years old and I am going to die.
Yeah. That's a very fascinating take on Orville. I think, especially because I can imagine one of the things about him is that he could probably figure out, your take on him could mean he could also figure out new ways to like prepare for long travel and flight, right? Like,
yes.
Because part of the fun of the original film was, they're in like a rolled up tin can, like sardine can, which I can ignore because it's a cartoon film. But there was a small part where my head was like, doesn't it get cold up there? So maybe he has like kind of like a full strap that has like a full proper like cover up, like cockpit for Bianca to fly in, etc. Cup Mary Popcorn.
Especially if we go the Orville as inventor.
Right, yeah. Cup Mary Popcorn, of course, is in the
because it even rains on them when they're up there, and Bernard like gets out an umbrella.
Right,
and they snuggle up under the umbrella, which ends up being relevant later when the fireworks go off and they fall out of the basket and they use the kind of umbrella to float down. Right,
nothing like good old-fashioned cartoon logic when an umbrella to save the day. So, you're right, yeah. Like going with the Orville as an inventor, I can see him like strapping up, like, all right, little lady, and then like some sort of stairway she can walk up on, etc.
I even like the idea of Orville like loading himself up with like all these different gadgets and things, and then tries to take off and just flaps on the ground, and Bianca has to be like, Orville, you did it again. And he's like, all right. Okay, let me take this off, take this off. Okay. Is this good? And Bianca's like, let's find out. And Orville takes off and flies.
I love that because it shows that Bianca's patient enough to be like, I know you're going to do your thing. You're going to learn the hard way. That's fine.
Yeah. And it's because it's the sort of thing that she's doing with Orville that she's going to need to do with Bernard.
Yeah. I think but one of the elements you could play with is the idea that maybe Miss Bianca kind of elevates her fellow agents.
Yes.
You know, like she's still the one in charge, but she knows like she can look in the best of everybody.
I also think that Act 2, when we get back to that, I think this is where we need to do our first runaway attempt. Because I think with the mice's help, they like get out the lock, open the door, escape.
Yeah.
And that's when they escape as best they can, and that's when Penny and the mice are tracked down and recaptured.
Yeah.
Or really just Penny. The mice end up not getting captured.
Right.
By Brutus and whatever the other crocodile's name.
Nero.
Brutus and Nero. Incredible. Real this joke's for adults kind of thing. And so that way they like try to be like, great, we're here, let's get you out of here, let's go run away, we'll find a place for you to be. They get away, Medusa, Snoops, and the two crocodiles track her down, bring her back, and it's like, oh man, our foolproof idea of getting this child away didn't work, and now because Medusa's worried about Penny trying to run away, she's not going to wait for the next low tide. She's going to put Penny into the cave tonight.
Yeah.
As punishment.
Right.
And so Penny is now going to stay in the hole to find the diamond or drown. Because Medusa can even say, look, We thought we were treating you nice, but it turns out if you're gonna turn your back on the hospitality we're giving you, you're gonna stay in that pit until you die, or I'll just have to go back to New York and find another little girl who doesn't deserve a family.
Right. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing who you have in mind for Medusa. So
I don't remember. Oh, right. Yeah. Fully support that still. And so then Act 3 is kind of what ends up happening is they go down into the hole with Penny. They find the diamond, they get it out, and it's the whole like sequence of like, well, now that I found the diamond, I'm going to kill everybody and make my escape. But like, it's a whole series of shenanigans, and Bernard's a hero, Bianca's a hero, everyone's a hero.
Yeah.
Orville's invention saved the day.
Yeah.
And they escape on the boat, and Penny gets back to society and has a diamond. So like theoretically, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I think we can just get to the end and be like, all right, great. Penny made it away, made it back to civilization with her diamond. She's going to be okay.
Right.
End of movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like a lot of that. I think the idea too of like actually taking one of the chase sequence of Penny and making that a real sequence to involve Bernard and Bianca is a good idea, especially because he can make it seem like they're just about the edge of getting there, and then like last minute swipe, and that way, it gives us a little extra oomph of adventure.
We gotta have something, because otherwise, like, I mean, just character arc stuff. Like the first escape needs to go badly, and it's because Bernard and Bianca messed it up.
Yeah. No, they have to.
And of course, Bernard is going to blame himself, and Bianca's going to be like, it's not you, it's this terrible lady over here. She's the problem.
Right.
That, I think, is our movie. So let's get into casting. Then I'll start small. Let's start with Bernard. I mean, I'm starting small either way. It's a mouse.
Yeah, correct. Correct, yes.
So my Bernard, I needed a comedic actor who also is very good at playing both the straight man and low status. And I've cast this guy so many times that I tend to be like, I can only cast him like once, maybe twice a season. But this feels like the right moment.
Okay.
Especially if we're pulling someone from Louisiana. I went with someone named Sam Richardson.
Okay.
From Veep, from I Think You Should Leave, but obviously, like, I love him from The After Party.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to do a quick...
Of course.
That's very good.
Thank you.
I am a fan of Sam Richardson. It's funny, because I wasn't planning on Bernard to be from Louisiana, I was a little more open with Bernard. Mm-hmm. But I like this choice.
I wasn't planning on him being from Louisiana either. It just worked out.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, fair enough. But I think this is a very strong choice. I like this guy. I've liked him in plenty of movies. And he's also one of those guys that you feel like deserves a chance to kind of do a fun lead role, And this is the one I will sort of debate this with you. But I'm also a big fan of this guy, and I also feel like he's on the same respect as Sam Richardson in my eyes. Randall Park.
Sure.
Same deal. And I feel like one of the things I like about Randall is a similar situation that happened, ironically, in what Marvel show was that? WandaVision. Yeah. Where his character came back for WandaVision, and he is that guy. He is that agent who everyone underestimates. But when shit came, when push comes to shove, he rose to the occasion.
It's true.
And ended up looking like a real hero in a lot of that story. It was fun to see that show through perspective of like the fans who don't know him outside maybe fresh off the boat. I was a fan of his comedy for years, but to see the fans who were Marvel folks watching that character's evolution from his appearance in Ant-Man to WandaVision and rooting for him by the end of WandaVision, it was kind of a fun sight to see, and I kind of feel like, oh, he would be a very good Bernard in his own way that's akin to a Bob Newhart vibe, but doing it his own take. I do love Sam Richardson, so we will have to do a final battle on that decision in a minute, but...
Who do you have as your Miss Bianca?
Okay. My Miss Bianca is Anna de Armas.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Has the accent, has the action chops. I think that is great casting.
Yeah. Your Miss Bianca.
My Miss Bianca does not have an accent, but she is a well-known Uzbeki refugee.
Interesting. Okay.
So I went with Melania Weintraub.
Oh. And she was in a movie with Sam Richardson.
She was in something called Werewolves Within, which
Yeah.
she co-starred with Sam Richardson. So
Yeah.
they've worked together. She's also on This Is Us. She's in the AT&T commercials. And like anyone who's listening to this knows who Melania Weintraub is. They'll also know that she was Squirrel Girl.
Correct.
So we already know that she has experience playing someone familiar with rodents.
I'm going to say mine is the very, like, celebrity name choice.
Yeah.
But yours, I think, is the better choice. And one that where she can definitely flourish in the role.
I would say let's go with Randall Park and Melania Weintraub.
Okay. You can use your Sam card later.
I don't get one of those.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't. This is your show, so I'll let. Yeah, fair enough.
I don't get a Sam card. Oh, because his name is Sam Richardson.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what you were doing.
I was talking about like,
oh, Sam's the host. He can just veto and do whatever he wants.
No,
I'm like, I don't do that. No.
You can let Sam Richardson show up later and get cast.
Nah, it's too late. We've moved on emotionally.
All right.
But let me tell you about my Madame Medusa.
Please.
Madame Medusa, we need someone who is an absolute jerk, who can be mean, who can kick ass, and who everyone hates from jump.
All right.
And we know that she can do that because of the character she played in A Mighty Wind. No, wait, sorry. The character she played in Wreck-It Ralph. Wait, no. Shit, also no. The character she played in Glee. I went with Jane Lynch.
Perfect. No nuts.
I mean, like, if we want someone to play someone who's just a monster and delights in it, that's Jane Lynch.
Yeah. No. I could see her in the Medusa outfit. I could see her in, like, the big red wig. I could
pulling
see
off eyelashes.
Oh, you want to talk about, like, nightmare fodder? Live action, her doing that with the camera real close? Yeah, no.
Yeah. Get some real body horror shit in here.
That's fantastic. That's perfect. I love that. That's so good.
Who did you have?
I honestly had no one for Medusa because I wasn't sure if I was going to use Medusa, so let's just go with yours.
Okay, great. Do you have a Mr. Snoops?
I do not, because back in the while watching the original film, my brain went, "This is a Ned Beatty role, wasn't it?"
Basically.
Snoops is giving me Ned Beatty vibes. Who do you have?
My Mr. Snoops is someone who is genuinely very pleasant, lovely to. I'm looking up who played Mr. Snoops. Joe Flynn.
Oh, Joe Flynn. Okay, let me look that up really quick.
So my Mr. Snoops, I want with someone who's genuinely very pleasant, but very much, yeah, sure, whatever you say, I'll do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. My first introduction to this character is him shouting, "Do a flip!" And he's also in Succession a little bit, but he's more well known for Severance. I went with Zach Cherry.
That's a fun choice. That's
Thank you.
Fun choice. He's Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not bad. All right.
And then I've got Orville and I've got Rufus. Do you have either of them?
I do have an Orville.
Great. Tell me about your Orville.
I think I had two choices, but again, I waited to see where the story was going. Now I know that the take of Orville that we have, I don't know what your answer might. I'm gonna wait. I'm looking forward to hearing your answer. But my choice, based off what you described as your take on that character that I really liked, I picked Matthew Lillard.
Oh, that's good. Matthew Lillard is always a great choice, and he obviously brings incredible voices, and just like him being like the goofy, silly Matthew Lillard that we love, that's very good. We very well may go with him.
And the energy that you're describing the character, I can see him be so manic in a fun way. Yeah. Okay.
And obviously, we're not going to see him because he's a bird,
right?
But like, bring that kind of energy to the voice casting. I went with an actress.
Oh, okay.
Who is very good at doing voice acting because she's got an incredible voice. If you want to actually see her perform, she has a great recurring character on Ghosts.
Okay.
She's also in like Big City Greens and Summer Camp and has done a bunch of like voice things. Like a decade ago, I saw her doing a bunch of improv at like I.O. West, R.I.P.
Yeah.
But I know she's like a UCB alum and all that. Her name is Betsy Sidaro.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And so, like, I wanted the, like, weirdo. Because, like, I knew we weren't going to really be recasting any of the, like, Louisiana stereotypes.
Right.
And I was like, well, we need to get some weirdo energy in this anyway. And I felt like Betsy Sidaro would be good. But Matthew Lillard absolutely brings weirdo energy. So Matthew Lillard is great.
Okay, awesome.
And then I threw a random A-lister in as my Rufus the Cat just for fun.
Sure, who is it?
John Malkovich.
You know what? Fuck it. F
Yeah,
it. Sure, why not? Why
exactly.
not? No.
It's just like, you need a weird, like, I'm old, but I've seen things, and I'm going to tell you a story for a day, and then I'm going to never be on set again. John Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
Like, yeah, John Malkovich.
He can knock that out in a session. You know?
John Malkovich?
Yeah, John Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich? Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
Malkovich. Malkovich.
Did you have any other actor roles or just writer and director?
Writer and director.
Great. Tell me about your writer.
The writer I picked is Francisco Angones, and
Okay.
he has a history of being an animation writer. He's worked for Disney, but his most significant recent job was the showrunner on DuckTales.
Yeah.
And-
Good choice.
And not just because I really liked the current DuckTales cartoon, but he had a killer Rescue Rangers reboot pitch that
Ooh,
Disney
okay.
turned down because the live action movie was in production. But
And I love that movie.
sure. It's very funny. But his pitch, and it's such a fanboy approach to the Rescue Rangers, and it's the reason I decided, clearly I would hire him to do this, because it's part of his pitch. He had an idea for Rescue Rangers where it was going to combine the history of the Great Mouse Detective, the Rescuers, with the current version, with his new take on Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Oh, that's clever. That's good. That's real good.
And the pitch of his story starts with Chip and Dale wanting to be members of the Rescue Aid Society.
Oh,
Now led by an old, grizzled Bernard. But Bernard
perfect.
is the only member left of the Rescue Aid Society. And Miss Bianca's been missing. So he's telling these new whippersnappers, one, no, this society is not really active. Two, you're chipmunks. And everyone knows that chipmunks are nothing but trouble. So there's a little bit of like...
Love it.
That's
so good.
It's so good. I'm bummed that he's not doing the show. But because of that's where his brain was, I'm like, give him the movie.
Absolutely. Give him the movie. I love that.
Yeah.
My writer is named Kira Talise.
Okay.
She was a writer on Wonder Man, but she kind of became more well known from Insecure, a Black Lady sketch show.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted someone who could like comedy, levity, character stuff.
Sure.
Because obviously Wonder Man is all character, and then like Insecure and Black Lady sketch show is like a lot of comedy.
Right.
And so that's why I thought that would be fun. But like obviously we have to go with Francisco Angones. So then let me tell you about my director.
Please. Okay.
He also is in with Disney, but he's directed two kind of bigger movies. One of whom I meant to watch and didn't, and the other one I'm very much excited to watch eventually, because he is a director named Dave Green.
Oh,
And he directed Earth to Echo.
that's right.
But also Coyote versus Acme.
Yes.
A blend of live action and animation that by all accounts is excellent.
Yes. True.
And I want that. And so he's felt like a good choice for director.
I think that's a very good choice, and I think I'm gonna bypass my suggestions and go with yours, because I think I was looking for somebody who's like younger than who I had in mind, but sort of like had the right energy. And I've seen his Ninja Turtles movie, which is Out of the Shadows, which I despise. The one that came before it, I was not a fan.
Yeah.
I came into that one, Out of the Shadows, with much hesitancy and walked out going, hey, that's actually okay.
Yeah.
So for me to go, I hate the first one, I can watch the second one, and I'm hearing the same thing you're hearing for Coyote versus Acme. Yeah, that's our guy. That's definitely our dude.
Seems like. All right, great. Then we'll go with him.
Perfect.
Let me take you through our cast for The Rescuers.
Nice.
Bernard is going to be played by Randall Park. Miss Bianca will be Melania Weintraub. Madame Medusa will be Jane Lynch. Mr. Snoops will be Zach Cherry. Orville the Albatross will be Matthew Lillard. Rufus the Cat will be John Malkovich. All of this will be written by Francisco Angones and directed by Dave Green. That's The Rescuers.
I will watch that on IMAX.
Yeah! We're gonna go see this movie.
Hell yeah.
So, Justin, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me.
For recording a podcast episode that, prior to editing, is longer than the movie.
Yeah, it is.
We did it. We really did. And so why don't you let people know more about yourself and where they can find you online and a little bit more about your podcast again.
You can find me on the Instagram at JustinQuiz. I have a BlueSky, but I keep forgetting what my username on it. It's just too long. You can find me also on my podcast, Nothing New, a remake podcast, where we do not try to think of the best versions of a remake. We have to discuss the current remake we got as is and compare that to the original film. Our recent episode have been on Wuthering Heights. That's a journey. That was a journey. And future episodes, who knows? We are definitely looking at Street Fighter in October. And
sure.
Also, we've been making it sort of a new semi-annual tradition of covering a different Christmas carol to a different Christmas carol every December.
That's pretty funny.
That's because there's so many.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So Nothing New, a remake podcast.
That is amazing, and I'm sure you will have 17 different episodes about A Star Is Born.
We did A Star Is Born, and we covered all 4.
Amazing.
That is let me tell you something. That was a rough episode because of the content of that story. That was not an easy one to do.
No, but there's a bunch that you could do that are just like you wouldn't think about it because obviously like Wizard of Oz is a remake,
right,
and has been remade a bajillion times.
Mm-hmm. We've done all 4 fantastic.
Brewster's Millions.
We did Brewster Millions. We did do Brewster Millions, including its Hong Kong remake.
Wow. Okay.
We did Fantastic Fours.
Yep, makes sense.
All 4 Fantastic Fours, and then Rise of the Silver Surfer as a Patreon. So.
Got
to
it.
do that. Yeah, so
despite the fact that the new Fantastic Four is a remake of Rise of the Silver Surfer.
That's why we still had to cover it on Patreon, because we acknowledged it how about that?
Yeah.
So we've our journey has been quite long and sometimes extremely tedious, depending on the remake.
It's still important and it's still good, and I'm excited to listen to so many different episodes.
I hope to have you on so we can get the remake crossover in that regard. Yeah.
I'll have to find an interesting thing that's been remade that I either have or have not talked about. I'm trying to decide if it'll be more interesting to be something that I have talked about already or something that I've never talked about.
And even look at what's coming out this year, and if there's something you're like, ooh, I'm fascinated, you let me know. We would love to have
over the course of the last year, I saw 2 movies that I thought were I described them to my friends as these are ideal remakes.
Okay.
And that is Naked Gun.
Yeah. Sure.
And Prey.
Oh,
I hadn't seen Prey when Prey came out. I saw Predator and Prey for the first time last year.
Oh, wow.
And Prey is if anyone ever asks me what the perfect ideal remake is, it's Prey.
Yeah.
It's all of the story of the original, less white, more gender inclusive, and done in a better way than the original. Prey is nearly a perfect movie. It's exceptional.
I love that movie. I super agree with that. 100%.
But if anyone is interested in finding me on the internet, I am on BlueSky at Sam Gasch, SamGasch, or I am on Instagram under the name Ideal Remake, or you can click on the show notes of this very episode and join the Dueling Genre Discord and have conversations about what your favorite remakes and things are as well. But I will end this episode the same way I end every episode. Justin, what is your favorite quote from the movie The Rescuers?
Nope. One of my better landings, bud.